Well, so I have a few updates. I just posted my video of the interview that just happened. What night? Tuesday? I got a text message from Jenny over the weekend, and she said that Channel 2 had picked up the fact that Middleton was doing a fundraiser with t-shirts at the football game, and the director of Channel 2 News lives in Middleton, and he's part of the Middleton Matters group on Facebook, and somebody had posted it there. And so he said, this is a story we should cover. And at first, my initial gut reaction was like, no way. Like, there is no way I'm doing this. But me aside, I started to think about how much negative media that we as a community have received. And it just reminded me that this is bigger than me, that this is a way to pay back the community for all of their kindnesses and the extraordinary people who have stepped up in this community to rally for our family and for my daughter, who's an athlete. That's what all the football game was about. It's about an athletic director who gets it, whose dad has cancer or had cancer, and it's about a coach who had cancer, whose sister had cancer. It's about a whole community rallying behind a diagnosis that's scary. But it's about a little girl whose mom has cancer. It's about a junior in high school whose world has just turned upside down. And it's about rallying behind her to give her the support she needs. But it's also about really showing that people in a state of crisis after 9/11, it's a perfect example of camaraderie and joining together in extreme situations that really make people stop for a minute and reflect on what's real and what's not, and what's important and what's not, and what this life is really about. And so, yeah, I had to make a fool of myself. And yes, if it was a speech that I was giving, I totally flunked. I said like. I don't even say like, and I said like so many times. Maybe I say like. But if it was a real speech, I would have gotten a C on it because it was really bad, which is like really not acceptable to me, but I guess whatever. So they're doing a whole, I figured if I had to be dragged into it, they wanted to know the people behind the GoFundMe and behind the dance team and then behind the shirts. So I roped in all of them, and it just happened that they were available and they came and they were interviewed and they did amazing. And so there's a whole story that is going to be unfolded of this situation on Saturday on Channel 2 News at 5:30. And so it's crazy. My 5 minutes of fame. Just kidding, how embarrassing. But it also led to something else. There is a woman in Nashville, Tennessee who reacted to, she has a Google alert on, I didn't know you could do this, but you flag Google somehow with terms that you are interested in, that you're looking for. You guys probably know, way smarter than me, I don't know. So she flagged mucosal melanoma because she is a survivor of 3 years. And she reached out to Dakota, our friend who set up the GoFundMe, and she said, hey, I would like to touch base with her because I'm 3 years out of my melanoma. So I was able to email her, and she told me her story. And all of our stories are different. I don't know what mine will look like. Hers got pretty hairy for a while, but as of right now, there's no sign of disease. And she did have the BRAF marker, so we're still waiting on it, so we don't know. But that's that's where we're at there. But really quickly, I wanted to share something else. I have been really self-absorbed during this, and I've spent a lot of time in bed and a lot of time not feeling sorry for myself, but really just overwhelmed by such a life-altering thing. I was able to spend a minute with my friend and neighbor, and I hope she doesn't mind sharing, and I'm not going to tell very much, but she is very discouraged in her journey, and I was very worried for her. And I was able to go with her to the doctor, and she's been a huge support for me. And the things she says, I'm like, I get it. That's how I feel. I thought this was in my head. And so there's something that is very like bonding about really getting it. But so I was able to go to her doctor, and she has a new doctor, and she was very discouraged about her situation for good reasons. She's been on chemo too long, and anyway, I won't go into details, but she has a new doctor, and she has an awesome new doctor, and he immediately called the best of the best for her particular cancer. And he came in, and he had an arsenal of information for her, and new treatments and new options and things. He's fresh out of school, so everything is new, and he was humble enough to ask and humble enough to tell us that. And I came up a few times, and like most medical professionals, they kind of look at me sympathetically and go, oh, that's the kind you have. But he also said he would put in a plug for research for the rare conditions like I have, and that he would do that for me, which I was like, that would be amazing. But also he said something very interesting. He said for breast cancer and like lymphoma and leukemia, they've come so far. There's all these foundations that create, like the Susan Como for breast cancer. It creates so much money, like it brings in so much money that the research is abundant. And because of that research, lives are being saved all the time. And he said that cancer in the future, in the very near future, will just be like diabetes, where it can just be controlled and kept at bay and completely lived with in a happy and healthy life. It's amazing. So I'm so happy that God has inspired man to create solutions for this terrible disease that is a pandemic. I mean, it's even bigger than an epidemic. People all over the world, everybody knows somebody with cancer. Everybody. It's so close to home. So I just thought you guys should know that there's good news. There's so good news for these common, bigger cancers that they are finding solutions for. Anyway, so exciting.